Hello, my fellow D&D YouTubers. My name is Dr. DM, and
I'm Uncle N.
And today we're back with another campaign diary. So we've been doing these for all of Chronicles of Frostfire. We're going to go through different arcs of the campaign and talk about them from a DM's perspective and a player's perspective, and talk about the cool parts, all the interesting parts, things that you can take for your campaign as a DM or inspiration for you as a player. So, all right, we'll get into this campaign arc for Chronicles of Frostfire, which is the Blood Isles arc, and a little bit leading up into that. So last time our brave adventurers, I guess, had gotten all the giant relics.
Yep.
And they're heading back to the temple.
Yep. Had to head back to the temple, get those all turned in.
Anam, was that it?
Anam, yeah.
Finally appears to them after they return the relics and says, okay, well, you've done what we've requested, and here's the information you need. And what it turns out is that Imrith, which you've heard of before, ancient blue dragon, evil ancient blue dragon, was the one that shattered the ordning and is currently manipulating things behind the scenes in a maelstrom.
Yeah, kind of faking her way in to manipulate everyone using that wonderful dragon polymorph ability.
Yeah, it's true, which we'll see. Now, Imrith is the villain of this particular campaign.
Absolutely.
And of Frostfire. That means, but for me, that means the villain doesn't just show up at the very end like the boss of a video game, right?
Yeah.
I like the villain to show up early and to have a lot of gravitas, and we're about to see that here in this arc. So they return, they get everything they need, they have the information, they know what to do, which is not only stop Imrith, but also get a conch from a particular giant lord. The conch lets him teleport into Maelstrom, the giant court.
Yep. And we decide to... I think kill two birds with one stone and try to go after what's his name's brother who killed him.
Oh, it's true.
To get his conch.
Yeah, so they previously been an NPC, and his brother is the Lord of the Storm Giants. Oh no, sorry, Lord of the Frost Giants. Sorry, Frost Giants. Yeah. And that's where they decided to go to take out that big bastard.
Yeah, kind of go. Okay, revenge plus a conch. I mean, you can't beat that. Yeah,
and they thought, everything's hunky dory. Ardina's been so kind to us, and he's going to let us fly freely to get this con. But no, DM's from the elephant store.
Almost blew someone off the path, getting out of the cave.
Yeah. More.
Just to give us this little startle and think, oh, okay, no, we're fine now. And then...
but then, actually, you decided to do a little bit of snowball fight. Remember the snowball fight?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're like, let's have some fun before we go. It's this fun snowball fight. And at that point, Vex decided to go ahead and leave because she had helped him throughout, the relics. Vex is their NPC friend, long-time NPC friend, Copper Dragon.
Yep.
And Vex leaves, and they have a snowball fight, and then
someone interrupts.
They load up in the ship, yes, and someone does interrupt. So who interrupts?
Just this little blue lizard that's flying around,
Oops, Imrith, the final boss, decides to. It's ancient dragon, the CR challenge is very high, and the players at this point are level 9 or something like that, 8 or 9.
I don't even think we're that high.
I don't know. So
it was not a battle that we were going to win.
No, I mean, easily a breath weapon for ancient dragon, and this is like a powered up ancient dragon, could wipe them all out in one single blow.
Yeah,
and so
the ship was the only thing keeping us alive.
I would say so. And so, boom. The dragon appears, Imrith appears, and I think it was pretty epic. And I had thunder and lightning and all this dramatic music playing. I always use music as much as I can. Yeah. And so Harlock, Captain Harlock of the skyship, was like, dingoes, mates, or whatever. And then he's like, I'm out of here. He's like, pops the nos, and
screw this, we're out. There was not to be. We could not get away from her.
No, skyship is fast, but not as fast as a dragon. Especially like an ancient dragon who also has other powers as well.
Yeah, and is just generally kind of pissed off.
Pissed off. Now, Imrith is pissed off. I think Imrith at the time didn't know necessarily what you all were about, but you were there. I think she was coming to destroy the temple.
Yeah.
And they were there, and they were witnesses, and Imrith was like...
well, they're here. I might as well deal with them, too.
Yes, exactly. And so, that battle... Do you remember much of that battle?
I remember the ship getting just torn up.
Yeah, it was very harrowing.
People falling off almost.
Oh, yeah.
Thankfully, one of the people fell off and fly.
Was that Amalia, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really harrowing.
At one point,
I mean, they could have easily all TPK'd, but they used, I think, the ship, the sky ship, and the ballistas to their advantage.
Not to mention hanging out at the bottom, trying to fire at her when she was underneath the ship.
Oh, that's true. Was that you with the bow?
Yeah, and I think Basil tried to do some stuff down there too.
Yeah, I think so
Not to
too.
mention just trying to see if he could fix things as the ship was just getting ripped apart.
That's true. So it was an aerial battle. The dragon is, of course, I don't know if it's gargantuan size, but exceptionally large.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of tearing into the ship and breaking apart the planks. And all the characters, all you guys you're all going flying around and taking all this incident thunder damage because she made the whole arena full of thunder and a breath weapon evading out of the way. And you fired some of the ballistas and you do some. And the damage you did do, I kept track. Some of that would be residual, and not only that, but as they were fighting in the sky. Vahera did something.
I had an idea of using the dagger, and
Jess
had an even better idea of how to use the dagger.
What did she do?
So she strapped just a dagger.
It's like an anti-dragon dagger or something like that.
Yeah.
Dragon Bane dagger or something like that.
Strapped it to a ballista, and through a very nice roll, managed to hit Emerith right through the... What was that?
One of the arms, I think.
Yeah. And because of being a Dragon Bane dagger, it left a nice little permanent scar that... made it a little bit easier to find her when she was polymorphed.
Which I was not expecting.
Yeah,
I was not expecting this, but I was like, and they're like, I want to strap this dagger to this ballista, and I was like, yeah, sure, what the hell?
Yeah.
And so, but at the same time, the whole ship is up in flames. It's everything is just breaking apart, it's barely standing, and Harlock is kind of maneuvering and trying to get around, get cloud cover or whatever, but Emerith is just not letting up, and Emerith is,
we're basically doomed.
Yeah, you're absolutely doomed. Except for a couple things happened. So you did get that. You did do some damage to her, and then at some point, I'm not sure if you managed to do some kind of escape maneuver at some point. And then Raswar had been taking this Marmite or whatever. He could see where dragons were, and he's like, blow, or something like that. And at that point, the dragon came and I think pretty much immobilized the sky ship.
Yeah,
I think she hit the end
dead in the water. She was getting ready to, coup de grace, essentially.
Yeah, and who shows up?
Our favorite Papa Dragon.
Yeah, so Vex shows up. Now, Vex is not an ancient dragon. Vex is kind of an adult dragon, roughly.
Yeah, 1,000-year-old or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Normal adult.
And the players at this point, they were, I think some of you were down, a lot of you were, except I think Amalia actually gone down twice, but she got Death Ward in herself. And so she was down to 1 hit point. Everyone was just dead.
Yeah, we were fried.
Yeah. And the ship no longer had any. And this is epic as it sounds, by the way. Please watch it.
Yes, it was really good.
Yeah, it was insane. And so, I did not let up as a DM. I put on my that STM face. I was like, "This is it. You're all going down." And so, no, Vex came in and kind of came up and sideswiped, and they started having
this mid-air battle of basically almost grappling in midair.
Yeah, fire and thunder.
Attacking each other at point blank and stuff.
Yeah, but Emerith was too strong, and while the players tried to recover a little bit, Vex was eventually defeated. Killed and defeated.
Yeah. Landed back on our boat.
They had,
what was left of it.
What did?
Vex.
Well, I think Vahera went using her wingsuit to try to grab her. Yeah, because that's how much they cared about this NPC. Was they were like, we have to save, because she, transformed back to her demi-human form and then started to fall. And so they were like, we're going to save this. I didn't know what's going to happen. And they were like, we're going to save this NPC. I'm like, you got to roll and get. And Vahera with the row just flew into the sky during this thunderstorm and saved Vex and brought her back on board. And at this point, what happened is that I was rolling every turn for Emerith's breath weapon to see how soon I could kill my players. And so she ended up using her breath weapon against Vex in that Dragon Ball Z thing, with the Kamehameha beams or whatever, and ended up overtaking Vex, and that was kind of one of the finishing blows too. Other than she also kind of dug into her neck or whatever.
Yeah, it was pretty gruesome.
Yeah, and then so now Emerith came back with a smile and was like, okay, now it's your turn.
Yeah.
And do you remember what happened then? Yeah. Do you remember what happened then?
I think John finally realized he could defeat a bear if only he turned into a dragon himself.
Yeah, except Emerith was a very large bear. So John, from the very beginning, none of the characters knew.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you had some inkling because Vex has mentioned things before, but you didn't know.
We didn't really know anything in character, and honestly, that was something you guys kind of had kept close to the chest for a while. We didn't know about it as players until pretty close to this reveal.
Absolutely true. So John had mentioned to me before he wanted something a little deeper for his characters, and characters always mention this kind of stuff to me. And I'm happy to 100% work it in and make it happen, but usually with my own twist to it.
Yeah.
Which you'll see in Chronicles of Legends when that comes. there is you get what you want, but there's a price to pay sometimes.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So John transformed into a dragon during this kind of like this very emotional moment where they were all about to die. Imrith is basically Imrith is basically about to kill them, and Vex was dead, and so John. Something overtook him. He became his dragon form because actually John is a dragon, and he's polymorphed into human form. And we'll talk about that more when we get to the Blood Isles arc, which is right after this. And so John became a dragon. He was able to battle Imrith back. He fired his Frostfire beam, which is a beam of frost and fire, and really wounded Imrith. And Imrith was like, you know what? I'm not dealing with this. Yeah. Plus, John is also like a hybrid dragon. Like he's half white dragon, half gold dragon, I think.
Yeah.
Bit of abomination. As much as Imrith wanted to take care of that, they were like kind of dead on board. And so Imrith decided, all right, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'll
deal with people later. I'm gonna go heal up and.
Yeah, and also she had other plans, which is continue manipulating the giants and do something else for a greater force in the background. So make sure your NPCs are always working for their agenda, I would say. So she leaves. And at that point, John, comes back into human form. And there was a really cool comment about this, actually. Somebody in that episode, if you've seen it, but they left a comment that was like kind of narrating, did like this cool like narration of what happened, like John like screaming. It was really cool. So anyway, at this point, it subsided. Everyone's kind of back except for Vex, who is dead.
We had our tearful goodbye as she fades into kind of gold dust aether kind of thing.
So Vex was dead, like literally dead, and I mean everyone was.
We rolled trying to save her, but
oh yeah, that's true. I think Amalia was like,
fortunately, we did not roll well enough.
Everyone's like, oh, we'll try to heal, and then try to revivify or try like everything they had, and they were out of spell slots a lot. But unfortunately, sometimes the wounds are so deep that like a cure won't necessarily help, and you do also have to have some drama in the game where. Like a healing word or something like that. It's not just going to save somebody from death. There is people, sometimes characters and NPCs are going to die, no matter what you try to do as a player, because you need that tension, you need that drama, and that eventual, catharsis. And so,
and this was a big one for our group as a whole, because we were very attached to her as a character.
And I think it should. I hope it should. I think it does. In the video, I mean, the tension in the room was palpable. I mean, it was like everyone was like, "Holy shit! Did this just happen?"
Yeah, we were all pretty like truly like this sucks. Like, we do not want to lose this character. Like, we were hurting as players. So yeah, that was rough.
It was grim. Everyone was just like, oh my god, and everyone's in character still, which was the best part. But still, like in the room, it was like, oh my god, it was like so tearful, and that's we didn't quite end the episode there. After Vex died, everyone's trying to figure out what to do, trying to gain the composure, and a new dragon shows up.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Taki?
Oh, duh.
Yeah.
That's right, when she does pop in right then.
Yeah, it's right then, when everything I thought was lost, and it's the worst possible scenario, a new dragon pops in. Not necessarily a new dragon. I went really deep in Enialis' backstory and pops out a dragon that was like his childhood friend, basically. I've seen this anime trope where it's like, the anime trope of the childhood friend.
Definitely the anime trope.
Okay, that one. That one. And so, she...
Only this childhood friend actually wins.
Oh yeah, no, he's the
just because there's no one else competing.
Yeah, it's not like a triangle or whatever. Yeah.
There's no harem stuff going on.
So this dragon, Taki, who's a topaz dragon, a gem dragon, and you don't see it very much. Well, Fizzbands came out, but you don't see it as much. But I want to incorporate these kind of unique lore bits and pieces, and monsters aren't used that often. In this case, a topaz dragon. Yeah, topaz dragon.
Topaz.
And she tells them that, okay, well, I've been looking for you, Enialis, and if what you're telling me is true, what you can do is you can go to the Blood Isles, basically the home of the dragons, within Faerun, and kind of this secluded, you can't really get to it unless you are a dragon, archipelago? I get that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And if you want to try to figure out what's going on with John, or figure out the Vex situation, because Enialis is like, we got to get her back, resurrect or whatever.
I literally, like, outside of the game, like, I'm finding some way in character to get her back.
Yeah.
I'm going to be hunting down like 20th level clerics, like, whatever I have to frickin' do.
Yeah, and also making amazing memes. Remember the memes? What was that one? You what? Do it for her. Yes. That was amazing. So, so make sure, and that's it. We'll get to the Blood Isles arc next. What happens when they go to the land of the dragons, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And so, oh my gosh, it was pretty insane, I would say.
Yeah, that was the biggest drama and the most emotional moment, I think, the group had up to that point. Like, there was little bits and pieces with particular characters, like Vahera's had some moments with dealing with her dad.
Oh yeah, it was in the
John and Amalia having their development from antagonistic pairing to now they're having a kid, and like
Raswar with his own dad situation.
Yeah.
So
she wasn't sure it was real.
Yeah, that's true. Is my dad real? So that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So this has been how we negotiated a battle with the boss, but not at the very end, and how to make like dramatic storytelling pieces for your players and make them really feel it. And me as a DM too. So.
Yeah.
Cool.
How to bring him to the edge.
So, okay, cool. Well, thank you very much for watching this campaign diary. Hope you learned something useful. And please leave us a comment below.
Smite that like button.
Do that thing. And subscribe.
Yep.
What
subscribe.
Else? Yeah.
Definitely like the video.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you in the next one.